What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. Sarah Winstead here, coach for Team Pro Physique. So today I have for you a mini cut physique update, weeks 1 and 2, as well as a grocery haul. I've kind of laid everything out here that I buy typically every single week, especially for a mini cut phase. It's important, or any fat loss phase really, it's important to start looking at your food sources, shifting things out, playing with portion sizes. So I hope that you guys find this video helpful in terms of, hey, it's easy to make some good switches with regards to shifting from a maintenance phase into a fat loss phase, into a contest prep. There are some really easy switches that you guys can make here. So I hope you find that helpful for the video today, as well as I will explain more of the science behind a mini cut, what we're doing, why we're doing it, and how it's going to set up for us up for success come 2023 for my bikini prep there. So just to give you guys a broad overview, I buy all of this stuff weekly, as well as from a couple of grocery stores. So here in Georgia, we have Kroger's and Publix's. That's kind of the two stores that I frequent based upon brands that I like, foods that I like, selections, things like that. I also get a few things from Amazon, online sources, and I'll share that with you as well. I find that, yes, there's not one-stop shop that I found that has everything that I could possibly need. Maybe Trader Joe's, maybe not. But yeah, let's go ahead and dive right into the grocery haul. All right, so here are my protein sources for this week. I've been doing a lot of the Laura's lean beef. I like the 92.8 variety. It's a great protein source, as well as it helps me get some fats in as well with my lunch. And then I'll do the 1 egg with some egg whites during the morning. And then I've been adding in my Chobani Zero Sugar Yogurt into my smoothies with the Core Nutritionals Core Pro. And then, of course, I still have my Core ISO in there for a whey protein isolate, fast digesting protein, post-workout. And I threw the almond milk over here because, let's be honest, it's huge and I really cannot fit on the other side of my counter. So I always start with protein. Every single meal is based always around a protein source. And I typically change up my proteins every couple of weeks. Like I said, I've been on a beef kick for my Mexican bowls that I'll share with you guys in a little bit. But I really like the beef this week. Sometimes I'll do chicken, turkey, fish, shrimp, but always starting with a protein source to help build your plate up. And then, of course, you can add your carbs and fats on top of that. Over here, we have all of my carb and fat sources for this grocery haul. Typically, if I get a macro change, I will change up my carbs and fats because that's typically what we are manipulating in a fat loss phase, a contest prep, or anything of the source. So these do change, but I typically will eat the same thing until I get a macro change because it just makes meal prep easier, it makes my life easier, and I don't honestly mind eating the same things every single day. And we typically, in any mini cut, contest prep, fat loss phase, you typically change macros when you hit a plateau. So it could be every 3 weeks or so, 2 weeks, again, depending upon the client. This is why I have a coach, and this is why I help clients kind of figure out when a change is needed. But I'll eat similar foods and same foods until we have a macro change. So we still have the wraps from my improvement season, still have my awesome roasting sweet potatoes so I don't cut my finger off because they are already pre-cut. These peppers are awesome because, again, they're already pre-cut, they're frozen. I get them from Publix, so sorry guys if you don't have a Publix in your area, but these are great in my Mexican lunch bowls. I traded out some rice for some black beans, and then I added in some romaine hearts for my Mexican bowls. Still have my amazing sugar-free ketchup, some carrots to have with my dinner, or I have a bunch of bags of frozen vegetables that I will switch out. Fat source, still loving this mashed avocado on top of my Mexican bowls. It's an easy fat source. My avocados brown up so quickly, so I was like, you know what? We're just gonna go with some mashed avocado. Still have my Dave's Killer Bread because I love these English muffins, especially post-workout in the morning. I'm gonna keep these in as long as I possibly can, but they will have to come out at some point, I imagine. And then we have my frozen fruit to get some good vitamins and minerals in from those throughout the day. So I'll have those in my nightly smoothies. And then these 3 things over here I get online. So I buy the Justin's chocolate hazelnut almond butter online on Amazon. I buy my PB Fit on Amazon because it's a lot cheaper than trying to find it in a grocery store. And then lastly, this has been a game changer for me during prep, during fat loss phases. It's the rice and grinds cream of rice. So I cannot digest oats as well right now. And I haven't been able to digest them as well since my prep in 2017. And so this works out really well for me as far as a cream of rice variety. I know that rice and me are really good friends. So it's all about, honestly, at the end of the day, finding what you digest well, finding what works for you with this kind of stuff. But I like this from Pride Foods. I do not have a discount code, but I will share my friend Sarah Ford Bishop's. Her discount code will be in the notes below if you guys want to try this out. But it's amazing. And again, I'll do a full day of eating at some point during this mini cut. Those cream of rice things will stay in for sure. I actually use them through the entirety of my prep phase in 2020, and it's just been a game changer for me on fat loss, prep, mini cut, whatever I've got going on. All right, guys, I hope you found that grocery haul helpful in terms of, hey, you know, when we make a macro decrease for a contest prep, mini cut, fat loss phase, that initial one, you know, I kept a lot of my foods in there that I really enjoyed, you know, like my English muffins, like my wraps. Still kept a lot of my fruits and my vegetables pretty similar, switched a couple of them out, obviously just for good variety purposes, for gut health and micronutrients and things of that nature. But for the most part, my meals have remained relatively similar. I did, of course, take out two of my more dense foods from a carbohydrate standpoint of my peanut butter checks as well as my rice. So I changed out my peanut butter checks for the cream of rice that you saw earlier, and then I changed out my rice for black beans. You know, because going into any sort of fat loss phase, volume becomes something that you really want to shoot for as you get lower in calories to keep you satisfied and things like that. Obviously, there are limits and a balance to all of this as well, but also, you know, I really didn't want to have like 40 grams or 30 grams of cereal because I'm like, just to have the cereal, I'm like, it's not really worth it to me at that standpoint. I'd rather have a more dense, more voluminous option from a calorie and carbohydrate standpoint, like a cream of rice. And I can't do oatmeal, so that was my option. I haven't tried cream of wheat yet, so that may be an option for me in the future as well. But it's all about making, at least for that initial cut, those small switches over time. You know, you don't have to completely overhaul your meals or anything like that just because you're in a fat loss phase, because you can see I kept a lot of my foods pretty darn similar. And that'll be the case, you know, through the entirety of this mini cut. Contest prep, obviously it is longer. So that means, you know, yes, I will be switching out a lot more of my foods more often. But as I said before, I tend to keep my foods pretty darn similar until we make a change, because it makes it very easy for me to buy in bulk, to prep in bulk, and takes the decisions out of it. I know that I'm eating pretty much the same thing every single day, at least for a week or two, and then it's like, okay, it makes it easy. I just swipe over on my Fitness Pal, takes the guesswork out of it, and makes hitting my macronutrient protocols very, very easy. And with the ease of that also comes me implementing other things to help me from a biofeedback standpoint. You know, I am still sleeping my 7 to 9 hours. I'm managing my stress. I'm hitting my water, my cardio, my lifts. All these things go into it, whether in your improvement season or not. But just to give you guys an idea about what a mini cut is from just like a physical standpoint, a mental standpoint, and things, and why we're doing this now. Like right now, it is June of 2022. We are shooting to compete next year in 2023, probably earlier in the year. I'd love to see April, May, but I'm gonna let my body tell my coach, tell me, you know, when we're ready, and I'm fine with that. But first off, you know, I really wanted a goal to shoot for. I have been in my improvement season from right now for 2 years. I stepped off stage in August of 2020, and I have not gone through a contest prep since then. I spent 2 years building muscle mass. Now, in that 2 years, I have dieted in a mini cut fashion. Last year, I did it for 8 weeks. This year, I'm probably gonna do it for about 6, 7, maybe. Again, I would say for a mini cut, no longer than 8 weeks, because then it becomes a fat loss phase, then it becomes a contest prep. The entirety of the word mini cut is that it is in miniature. It is a miniature fat loss phase. So why do this? Well, for a couple of reasons. Number one, my weight was getting up there. Like, I am 5'1", small, short human, but my weight was getting around 123 pounds, which if you watch my previous video on the bikini prep Q&A, where is an ideal, you know, rate of weight to gain post-show as well as maintaining post-show, you know, I like ideally to stay within no more than 20% of my own stage weight, because losing for me, which turned out to be 20 pounds, so because I was 106 pounds on stage, and so for me, I was getting up to 123. I wasn't, feeling as like good in my clothes. I wasn't noticing as much strength increases in the gym. And also, it keeps me a little bit closer to that 20%, within that 20%, because again, losing more than 20, maybe 25, 30 pounds for a lot of people during a contest prep can be very, very, very hard on the body. But you need to gain some weight post-show. You need to maintain some, level of fitness as well as, body fat in improvement season in order to put your body in an optimal position to gain muscle mass. And we've done that over the last 2 years. I put on, I think, a significant amount of muscle. We'll find out soon, obviously, next year when we reveal that. But that's one of the reasons why we're doing this mini cut, because at the rate of gain that I was going, I'm gaining about a pound a month or so average, maybe 1.5 pounds. And so on that trajectory, I would have eclipsed where I was comfortable losing for stage. And again, that differs client to client, person to person, size, height, stature, training history, dieting history, that does differ. That's where the coaching aspect of it comes into play. And so, my coach Paul and I had a really good kind of back and forth, and we decided that, hey, now's the time to do it because, we're going to be going into July, and then, hey, it gives us time to go through a short reverse, maintain a little bit closer to where we want to be, and then really, really hit it hard once contest prep starts in probably around December or so, maybe January. Again, I don't know. That's why I have a coach. So yeah, that's kind of the rationale from that kind of a perspective. Doing a mini cut like this during a longer improvement season just allows you more wiggle room to actually build even more muscle mass afterwards, as well as it can help with things like insulin resistance, blood glucose levels and things like that. And then from a mental standpoint, it can be good to kind of sink your teeth in again to a goal. Like that's kind of how I'm looking at it as well. I love building, I love improvement season, but 2 years is a very, very, very long time. And so that for me was also one of the motivating factors too, because a lot of being a bikini competitor or a competitor in any division in this sport of bodybuilding is a lot of it's mental. A lot of it's mental. And so for me, this gave me the kind of the lit the fire a little bit, be like, all right, let's sink my teeth into a challenge. We've been building for a very long time, pushing food for a very long time. I haven't been hungry. Honestly, if I'm being really honest with myself, I haven't been hungry in probably 9 months, honestly. Honest to God. And so a lot of my clients are like, oh, I'm not hungry. I'm like, you still have to eat the food. We still have goals of getting on stage. Sometimes you do have to do that when your hunger signals are a little bit off. Right now, with the initial cut that we've made, I'm hungry. I'm hungry again. It feels good. I'm just like, yes, okay, this is good. It makes me look forward to my meals. My meals, I don't know if this is mental, but my meals even taste better at some point. So it's kind of cool to see that kind of transition happen. Right now, my carbs are at 210, so still really high for a person, again, of my size, my stature, and everything like that. And week 1, week 2, we've made progress. I'll put a picture of my, prior improvement season physique over here, and then you can see what I am looking like over here. So 123 pounds over here, and then over here I am right now 121 pounds. So in 2 weeks I've lost 2 pounds, which is a great rate of loss for anything, honestly. For me, fat loss, contest prep, mini cut, whatever it looks like, if I've lost 2 pounds in 2 weeks, that's amazing. A lot of y'all are like, oh, only 2 pounds. Well, again, I am 5'1", so a 2 pound difference on me means a lot. However, if you're a client that has a lot of body fat to lose, 2 pounds for you may look different. That's why everyone looks different at different body compositions, different heights, different statures, and things like that. So for right now, we're not making any changes. I'm losing weight. My body is responding very, very well. I am consistent. I have 45 minutes of cardio 5 days a week right now. That could go up, but is also on top of my daily steps because I get around 8,000 to 10,000 steps. So on top of that is my cardio protocols. And so I'm consistent. I'm hitting it. I'm still getting in my sleep, my stress management, my steps, everything like that I need to do to make sure I put my body in an optimal position to lose body fat. And I want to kind of just end this, kind of wrap this up a little bit here by just saying that yesterday was not a rest day for me. It was a training day for me. And I was 122.6 pounds yesterday. Okay, 122.6. Last night, I got 9 hours of sleep. That's one factor. Number 2, we found out our house closing date. a couple of days ago on Tuesday, and it's a major stress relief to have that closing date in mind. We booked movers, we booked things like Comcast and everything like that. That has been kind of a stressor in the back of myself and my husband Daniel's brains for a very long time. And so to have that come out of my brain and let us, kind of just sink our teeth into that process and have some positivity and excitement moving forward and take that stressor out of not having a closing date. Now we have a closing date. So those two things in mind, a sleep that was amazing, 9 hours of sleep, and a stressor that had been bugging me for a long time, I dropped 1.2 pounds overnight. Like literally, that's just a lot for me. It's a lot. And yes, it could go right back up, but it just proves my point of saying, yes, hit your protocols. Yes, hit your macros, cardio, everything like that. Be as consistent and as adherent as you possibly can. But you have to take other factors into account, like your sleep and your stress management. Those are my two big pillars that I talk a lot about with my clients, because if everything else is consistent, macros, cardio, steps, water, things like that, and if this shit's going haywire with your sleep and your stress, you're not going to make progress. And as I was using myself as an example, I'm just like, got some great sleep, managing some more of my stress. It was a stress reliever to get that closing date, dropped weight today, very happy about it, and I'm feeling better, tighter, less inflamed. My waistline's come down a little bit as well. And so really happy with my progress so far. We're going to keep pushing over the next few weeks here. And in future videos, I will share a moving vlog of how to actually move homes and stay on track through a cutting phase, because it's not something I typically recommend or typically do, but you know what? We're in it to win it. I'm gonna show you guys how I'm gonna make it through that process, unscathed, relatively speaking, and things like that, and still maintain my progress through a move, through opening up a new chapter of life and things like that as well. So we're going to wrap up the video here. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate it. Comment below any questions that you have about the mini cut, about what I'm doing, about my grocery haul or anything like that. I love answering questions. I can even do another Q&A if you guys like to as well. But hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, comment below with anything that you guys might need, and I will definitely catch you guys in the next video.